you've embraced virtualization. You've consolidated your data center. You've reduced the number of servers from some number to less, and that's created efficiencies. Less power, less cooling. You're able to spin up new servers very quickly. You're done, right? But what about the limitations that still exist based upon your remaining physical servers? Today we're going to talk about building upon a decision that you've already made to virtualize by optimizing your remaining physical architecture. The goal? Even greater efficiencies for two reasons. Greater cost reduction, because it's easier to manage what you have. And greater agility, and this is a key, because it's easier to change what you have based upon new business requirements. Many of us didn't fully understand that concept just a few years ago when Cisco first announced their UCS server platform, but we do now. And one of the goals of delivering simply better IT solutions is to take technology and make it easier to understand and implement for our clients. When you add a standard rack or blade server, it becomes the center of its own universe. And it's a quite demanding piece of iron. It wants to own all of its own connections. So give it lots of Ethernet cables to connect to its client networks, its storage networks, as well as to its network management, so that you have a view into the health and the operation of your server. Of course, you want redundancy, so double up on those connections so that you have redundancy as well as increased performance. Add a second server, do it all over again. Connections to the client networks, storage, as well as management. In this example, 2 servers equals 24 cable connections. And each server wants to own its own configuration. Its firmware, its BIOS setting, its VLAN setting, its HBA assignments. The list goes on and on. Each time you add or change an existing server. And although this tends to be a manual process, it has to be exact. One mistyped character and you can serve up a blue screen versus your accounting application. Sorry, servers. In an optimized environment, you're no longer the center of the universe. The network is. You're just another device on the Ethernet cable. And you use the same network connections as do your client networks, your storage networks, as well as your management. You connect to the network based upon a very large Ethernet pipe that connects your chassis to the rest of the network based upon a very powerful virtual network interface card that allows for hundreds of virtual connections versus all these cables to connect your servers to your client networks, your storage networks, and your management. In an optimized environment, servers do what they do best, add pure processing power in a virtualized environment. So when you come into this world, and servers, you're not going to like this, you're stateless. You have no personality. You get your marching orders from dynamic service profiles that automatically load your configuration from the network. So instead of hours of time bestowing upon you your exact configuration, it's more like adding a second battery to double your power, or a third battery to triple your computing power. And because of the dynamic service profiles, and servers, you're really not going to like this, we can change who you are with a few clicks of a mouse. So this morning, you're a test development server. This afternoon, we're coming up on month end and we need more accounting resources. We're going to ask you to be an accounting resource for the next 4 days. Ouch. Not so good for a server's self-esteem, but really good for the overall efficiency of your computing resources. When you get the call that your organization is expanding, you've acquired a new company, or you have a business unit that needs a new application to come online very quickly, how long does it take you to add physical server capacity? Or you just need to make changes to your existing physical servers to modify workload, or change the configuration between your servers and the client network, the storage network, or your network management. How long does that take? In an optimized environment, you can not only point and click to change your virtual environment, you can point and click to change your physical environment as well, through a single pane of glass, through a single point of management. Look, you've already made a great decision to virtualize. Why stop there? The next time you need to add a rack or a blade server, take a look at the UCS platform from Cisco. There's a reason why it's gone from 0 market share as a brand new product just 2 or 3 years ago to number 2 in the US blade market. The next server could be your foundation to even greater efficiencies. Less cost because it's easier to manage what you have. And most importantly, what all companies are looking for, the ability to more quickly respond to new business requirements.